Today we're going to be talking about collecting surface tape samples. We do that with biotape, which is provided by the laboratory and available in the FOSC. Each one is individually, has an individual microscope case. What's important is the case has a top indication here. So when you open it, you should open it with that on top. When you open a sample, it is a small microscope slide that has a little bit of flexibility to it. When you're collecting these samples, you want to make sure your hands are clean or use gloves. Each slide has an expiration date, so make sure that the expiration date isn't passed for all the slides that you're going to collect on a project. To collect the sample from a surface, you peel and discard a small plastic covering right here. This just goes in the trash. And now you're left with a sticky surface on the tape. So you apply this sticky surface to the surface that you're going to test, for example, a wall like that, and you press down lightly and remove it, and the sample is collected. You're going to take a unique EH&E sample ID and affix it to the slide. You want to make sure after you collect the sample and before that you don't touch the sticky part of the slide. So you put the sample ID here, put it back into the slide case, and close it. Typically also collect field blanks in this sampling protocol. So to do that, you take another slide, making sure that the top is up, open it, making sure not to touch the sticky portion, remove the covering, put a sample ID on the slide, return it to the case, the top up, and now you've collected your samples. These types of samples get documented on our bulk sampling field data sheet. We indicate the page number. In this case, we're only going to have one page, so it's page 1 of 1. We indicate the client. In this case, I'm going to say EH&E. The job site, including the building, which should include the building address. The field people that are collecting the samples, in this case, I'll indicate my initials, date, project number, and sample type, which is tape. For each individual sample, we'll want to document the sample ID, the time that we collected the sample, the location. Typically that's the room, so in this case I'll say FOSC because we already have the address above. Sample type, which are listed at the bottom. In this case my actual sample will be an S because it's a sample, and then a sample description, which is where you collected it from. So in this case I'll say surface of wall. When you're in the field, it's also important to document where the wall is and where the sample is collected specifically. So if that's wall under the desk or 3 feet up from the bookshelf, all that information should be collected so that it's known exactly where you collected the sample. The field blank is documented in a similar way with sample ID. Time doesn't matter, location doesn't matter. QA type is FB for field blank, and the sample description doesn't matter. So that's how you collect surface tape samples.